Oh, hi everybody. I've been doing a very interesting thing. I've been keeping records of all my orchids that have shed their flowers. And it only takes about 5 minutes to do this with each one. But the purpose of this is to find the maximum saturation weight of each of the orchids over a period of time. And to do that, I've been watering these orchids just 1 day a week for one full day, and then letting them sit dry for the following 6 days. And I've shared this information with you, I believe, in the past as a wonderful way of bringing an orchid back to stasis. I've never really clocked how long it takes. Probably takes 3 to 4 weeks. But like I said, I've never really recorded any results. So here's an example using Orchid 13. So I made the note this past Sunday, 5 days ago, that the last watering was Friday, 7 days ago. And then I put down the weight of the orchid and the vase. Then I weighed the vase by itself, and I came up with the weight for the orchid after subtracting this figure from this figure of 4.4 ounces. So the good thing about having this data is that we have the weight of the vase, which remains constant. So we don't have to go through a whole weighing operation each time. So all I have to do now is put the orchid and the vase onto the scale. If it weighs less than 29.8, then we know that the weight of the orchid went down in that time period. So let's try it out. So here's Orchid 13, and as far as I'm concerned, this thing is really healthy. This is a new leaf, but these leaves are very substantial. And so I think it's approaching its MSW, which will be around, it was 4.4 last week, but I doubt if it'll go very much higher than that. So anyway, let's weigh it now a week later and see what it's at. Okay, the scale is set. And here we go. And it weighs 29.6. So the orchid has lost 2/10, yes, 2/10 of an ounce over the past week. So I've updated the data to reflect that the orchid now weighs 4.2 ounces at approximately 8 a.m. today. And what I'm going to do is water it for the whole day, and because that's what I've been doing. And we'll see if it goes, far above 4.4 or if it gravitates around that point. And this is how we slowly determine the MSW of each of the orchids. So it's 8:08 a.m., Friday, August 15th. And we're gonna just fill the tank here. We're gonna fill it up about halfway up the length of the roots. Okay, that should do it. So I'll see you tonight at about 8 p.m. Okay, we're back. It's Friday night, 7:59 p.m. And what I'm going to do is dump the water in Orchid 13. It's been sitting here for 8 hours now. And then we'll let the orchid sit in this larger vase where the residual water can run off, and then we'll weigh it. I apologize, I misspoke. I meant to say that the orchid's been sitting here for 12 hours now. So we simply pull it out and put it over here. You gotta get all those roots in there. And it slides right down. There we go. See, now the roots aren't touching the bottom, and they can just, I can shake off the residual water. I'm gonna let it sit here for about 15 minutes, and I'll just dump the water out of this and clean this vase so it's dry. Okay, it's 8:14 p.m. Friday, August 15th. Let's see how things are going. So let's put the orchid back in its original vase. And I'm just going to put this down for a second while I do this. And there we have it. Okay, the scale is set to 0. Here comes the orchid in vase. And the total weight is 30.2. All right, so here are the results. The orchid in vase weight of 30.2 reflects an increase of 0.6 ounces to the orchid. So the orchid now weighs 4.8 ounces at 8:15 p.m. So if you want to go crazy with this stuff, you can put the markings down right on the vase itself. So I have a new high weight of 4.8, and at that point the vase and the orchid weighed 30.2, and then I have the date there of Friday, August 15th. So from here on in, to see how this orchid's doing, all I have to do is pull the scale over and weigh it, and then compare that weight to the 30.2, and I'll know what the orchid is doing in terms of weight. So thanks for watching, and I'll keep you posted on this one. In the meantime, you might want to try it on one of your own orchids at home.